fat or heavy contact one or topping it, thinning it, it's almost the same kind of fault, just the timing of what we do through the shot.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Kerry Gray on the range today here at the Els Club in Dubai, standing next to Jamie Howarth. He is a tour pro. He's played on the Challenge Tour. He's played in a British Open. We're going to be talking all about how to work through a swing change when you're on the range. We're not raking and pulling. We're thinking about this movement in a methodical manner, and he is going to show you how. Let's get in. I'm a big trail arm person, massive.
Yeah.
So many things in the golf swing, I will work trail arm. Mainly for me, right? And the majority of players that I've seen, there's way too much trail arm retraction.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hands move to a point where they go past the body,
Hates
right?
it.
And then as soon as we get into this cricket pose, right, it's incredibly difficult to then match it up at the bottom of impact. But you're saying that you work a lot on the lead arm, and that is passed down from some of the teachings of Pete Cowan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like you said, the right arm stuff, great. Like, you know, we all know, you look at all good players, it's all kind of like here, it's all really passive. You can pivot through with that right arm. Like you said, handle works left, club head works up on the arc. But for me, that's not possible if the left arm is out of position. So if, like, you know, this is kind of stuff I've learned and picked up working from some really good golf coaches and also with my own game. So if my left arm is up and out like this, handle is probably too far out this way and too far forward towards the golf ball or towards the target, the right arm can be in an okay position, but how can you keep that passive now? This has got to stop and that club head has got to take over, because otherwise you know, number one, you probably swing outside the ball, or you'd probably shank it.
A little bit of Jose Maria.
Yeah, so like in terms of from the top, like, yeah, the right arm, that's going to work through nicely, supported and quite passive with what the body's doing. But the left arm has got to get, for me, it feels like it gets back under me, back in towards me, so I can then be really stable with what this club's doing through the shot.
Yeah, great. So what we'll kind of talk about from here is, well, let's reverse engineer that and start from a little bit earlier on. So when you are playing with recreational golfers and you're going to give them a couple of swing tips here and there, you yourself, right, you know that you're able to somewhat manage that motion in time when you're doing slow rehearsals. But old mate over there that's 10 beers deep and he's on the 5th hole and he's sick of shanking it and topping it. He wants a tip that's going to help him on the next hole, right? What would you tell them in a pro-am?
Depends what his motion's like, doesn't it?
Have another beer.
Have another beer, mate. Loosen up.
So let me give you a bit of a generalized example. So let's say that I'm a player, I'm standing up here, I'm on the 7th hole, you're watching me, it's getting a bit embarrassing. I'm just hitting behind the ball all the time, I'm topping it. And the swing motion itself doesn't really matter too much. Like, I don't care what it looks like, okay? All I want is to hit that thing a little bit better. So you would get this all the time playing pro-ams throughout all the years. And they come to you and they go, wow, they put you up on a pedestal. You know, this guy is amazing. If I could beat anyone in the world, the guy speaking to you has probably made multi-million dollars. That's why he's playing in this big pro-am in the first place. But most of these guys would love nothing more than to have a life of golf and a career in golf. It's true, right? You get it all the time.
Absolutely.
So he's looking at you with rose-tinted glasses and you're standing up there and you go, I've just slept on the ground of my mate's apartment for like the last 4 days. What are we going to do to help him strike that golf ball a little bit better?
So, like, you know, like say if he's hitting ground first or maybe even topping it, a lot of the time, hanging back on the right side is massive, isn't it? You see it all the time, like, you know, from camera point of view, back here, club's either going to, you know, if that's my golf ball I'm addressing there, weight's back here, either going to bottom out early, so low point's going to be well behind the golf ball, or you see it all the time, don't you? You know, me and you coaching, don't want to hit the ground, something starts happening, pulling up, lifting up, straightening up, and then we end up topping it. So it's like the fat or heavy contact one or topping it, thinning it. It's almost the same kind of fault, just the timing of what we do through the shot.
Exactly.
So yeah, like, you know, in terms of a drill or a feeling for somebody, just really fit, like for me, see, you know, I tell a lot of people this, so the pelvis, feel like you're really pushing it through the shot. Again, getting onto that lead side, but not a lot of people when they try and go get onto the lead side, we see this. It's like I got on the lead side, I fell forward, but yeah, they're going to smother it, and they're probably going to hit some horrible pull shots as well. And
So why don't we keep it in trend with what we were kind of talking about with what you feel in your swing, right? And let's talk about this lead arm and the lead shoulder. Now, if I'm a player and I'm falling back, meaning the low point is behind, I'm hitting behind, or the arc might be rising, I might be hitting the top.
Yeah.
If we isolate and we just talk about this movement of the left shoulder for the right hander coming down into the ball.
Yeah.
Now, if my left shoulder is raising up early, which we generally see with the player who hits too far behind, correct? We might duff the ground or just miss the ground, come through and hit the equator of the ball.
absolutely.
Neither is going to produce any good results. So if I'm in a functional position here, we could essentially feel that this lead shoulder is moving down in a diagonal direction, more towards my left ball of my foot.
Yeah.
Because that would also mitigate the chance that we're going to spin out of it, right?
Yep.
So let's say that I'll hit one and I'll do the typical amateur duff, back foot bandit, this number here.
Beautiful.
It's the best shot I've hit all day. So the next one, I'm going to start feeling that from that same position back here. Very simply, I'm going to keep that lead shoulder a little bit lower in transition and put it down over the ball of my foot. Off we go. Rehearsal. Okay, that feels good.
Nice.
That one felt great.
Yeah, good.
Now, I wish it was that easy all the time. A lifetime of golf will make it like that.
Absolutely.
But it's amazing when you start to have a little bit of a reference of body parts, and specifically talking with Jamie about the lead arm or the lead shoulder here and how that moves in transition. Just identifying that with the recreational golfer, we'll see get high and back and they'll start to tip in this position. But being able to pivot and then move that down in such a way that we start to see that we float on top of the ball. Well, this is what every single high level golfer does to get the low point in front. Awesome work.
Mega. Good work.